Yo, what's good YouTube? I am back with another reaction video, and we got why NBA fans are still obsessed with Larry Bird, Larry Legend. You already know, man. You already know. Let's see what this video is talking about. I think this is a new video too that just came out like 3 days ago too. So let's see what this video is hitting for, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Handedly helping the Celtics rise back to the top of the food chain, to showing the new generation of players support when no one else would. Here's why NBA fans are still crazy about Larry Bird. I mean, the man was a menace throughout his career. Larry Bird is the type of dude you never want to cross on a basketball court. If you throw any sort of trash talk his way, you'd better be prepared to face the consequences, right? Bird was just relentless, and not to mention ruthless when it came to destroying his competition. Also, Larry was known to be a perfectionist and was revered by Celtics fans and basketball purists alike. During his era, there wasn't anyone who could step up to the man. Well, that was the case until Magic Johnson decided to pull up to the scene. But that's a story for later on in the video. Now, throughout his career, Bird managed to win 3 NBA MVP titles and led the Boston Celtics to 3 NBA titles. He also led them to the finals 5 times. It's feats like these that make it hard to put into words just how good this dude really was. He simply outclassed everybody on the court, and there wasn't a whole lot anyone could do to try and stop him. His battles with Magic Johnson went on till the end of his career, with both men trying to outdo each other at every turn. Though, before we check out their rivalry in the NBA, we're gonna need to take a trip down memory lane all the way back to the Hicks High School and college careers. From the moment he touched a basketball, it was clear that Larry was an exceptional player. Throughout his high school career, Bird was the best player on their team. He'd often lead the team to championship wins, and even managed to become a local celebrity. People would be lining up to buy tickets to his games, and he managed to break records in terms of attendance, as his final home game had an insane attendance of 4,000 people. To put things into perspective, Bird's hometown, French Lick, was home to barely 2,000 people. So the man managed to double the town's population, all thanks to his insane skill on the court. People loved the man so much, they'd often give his parents rides to wherever they were going, as his family was too poor to afford a car of their own. By the time Larry joined college, things were going as smoothly.
Whoa, did he just do something behind his back? I don't think I never seen that one before. What game? Who is this he's playing?
As his family was too poor to afford a car of their own. By the time Larry joined college, things were going as smoothly as he hoped. In fact, he bounced around a few schools before finally landing at Indiana State. This is where his story truly began, as the hick from French Lick started to gather attention and become a national sensation. The Sycamores became home to the Bird, and in return, he helped them go unbeaten in his first season there. In fact, he was so good, he managed to help them maintain an insane record of 81-13 throughout the 3 years he spent playing there. Then, of course, in his final year, he had his first encounter with Johnson on the court. Things didn't go so well, and the Sycamores ended up losing the 1979 NCAA championship game. But who knew that this was just the beginning of a career-long rivalry? Things got even more heated when he entered the NBA. At this point, Larry had become used to the fact that life just wasn't easy for him. The Celtics drafted him back in 1978, as he'd already become eligible for the NBA. But chances were slim that he'd join up with the big boys so early on. They knew that this kid was worth the wait. Back in the 1978 season, the Celtics put up their worst numbers ever, winning just 32 games while losing out on 50. Thankfully, they had Larry Bird come to help them save the day. You see, Bird joined the Celtics in the 1979-1980 season and managed to pull off one of the greatest turnarounds in NBA history. He was able to help the Celtics increase their win percentage until they managed to get back on top of their conference. He posted insane numbers, averaging 21.3 points per game, alongside a whopping 10.4 rebounds per game. At this point, everybody and their mother knew that Bird was destined for greatness. Despite Magic putting up similar numbers and performances, the NBA had to recognize Larry's greatness and went on to award him the Rookie of the Year award. This also earned him a trip to the first of his 12 All-Star games. Bird wasn't just a big help to the Celtics, he also helped the NBA get back on its feet. See, Bird was such a huge deal that fans of other teams would show up to watch him play. And he was so good that he managed to sell out stadiums in the last 541 games of his career. You don't see stuff like that happening these days, do you? It's because Bird was entertaining to watch and charismatic during interviews. He was everything the younger generation was inspired to be like, and always helped to set a good example for younger players. He only needed 2 seasons in the league to show everybody what he was all about. Plus, it felt like Bird wasn't there just to help his team win games. He was there to set an example. He was all about the hustle and showed just how awesome he was by becoming a clutch franchise player for the Celtics. You could say that in a way, Larry helped the NBA live up to its slogan, which was NBA Action. It's fantastic. He didn't just help the league go up in numbers, but he helped change the game forever. The man was insanely skilled and rarely missed his shots. In fact, there was even a time when his free throw percentage was set at around 90%. Compare these stats to today's game, and you'll quickly understand why Bird is so revered. Though a time soon came when Bird didn't have it in him to win any more championships. However, that didn't stop him from dominating the league. It was around this time that Bird started suffering from a few health issues. He just hit 30 and was facing back issues and issues with his foot. This led him to become less effective on the court, but he still managed to destroy his opponents every now and then. An example of how awesome he was when he managed to become the first ever Celtics player to achieve a 40-20, where he dropped 40 points and got 20 rebounds. Despite being well past his prime, he still managed to pull off insane feats like this, which again goes to show what an insane player he really was. In fact, it was during this time that Bird was able to win his 3rd three-point contest in a row, a crazy feat that wasn't matched for a while after he achieved it. If you look at things from a pretty basic point of view, you'll begin to notice that while Larry wasn't able to win more than 3 championships, he made up for it by pulling off unbelievable feats on the court that almost no one can achieve these days. If you ask me, that's more than enough to solidify his legacy. And so, we've reached the final question in this video, which is what Larry Bird thinks about today's generation of basketball players. A lot of oldies seem to have a bad habit of hating on today's game. Like they'll just be sitting around on a talk show when suddenly one of them will start reminiscing about the old days, and eventually launch into a tirade about how everything was so much better back then, and how the players of today just don't have that spark. Debatable, but thankfully, Larry is one of the people who actually enjoys watching what the game has evolved into. I mean, sure, he probably misses some of the rules they had back when he was still around, but watching the sport grow, and that too in such a way, it's gotta be a great feeling. Plus, knowing that you were a huge part of helping it get this far, I mean, ask any player today, and they'll probably talk about how Larry Bird was one of their idols when they were picking up a basketball for the first time. It's honestly insane how much Larry was able to help the game evolve throughout his career. It went from being dependent on having huge centers to relying more on shooting guards and plays that favored the quicker, shorter players rather than the long and stocky ones. Like I said before, Bird was the first person to break the NBA MVP award tradition of handing it out to centers. The man was a godsend for the sport, and he won't be forgotten anytime soon. He even came out and talked about how proud he is of the players that ball out in the NBA today, and he's excited to see where the game goes in the future. With everything he's managed to achieve, his legacy has forever been carved into basketball legend. So, from showing the new generation of players support when no one else would, to single-handedly helping the Celtics rise back to the top of the food chain, that was why NBA fans are still obsessed with Larry Bird.
Oh yeah, that was a good one right there. Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, yeah, that's exactly why he said it right. You know, it's just like everything he did, and just like everything I'm learning is just like, yo, like nobody else, not even LeBron, nobody's even doing the things he did today at all. Like, this set in stone what he did. Like, you know, it's crazy, man. But yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And I think that he might have had a lot of stuff right from what I was listening to. But I know he's more explaining, just telling why a lot of fans still love him to this day, you know. But yeah, that's about it, man. I'm on to the next video. Subscribe if you're new, hit that like button, turn on that bell, man. I'm uploading every single day. And yeah, that's about it. Got some videos you want me to do, leave them down in the comments down below, or send them to my email at DATPHILLYBOINAH@gmail.com. And you can also follow my second channel at DATPHILLYBOINAH Reacts, REACTS. It definitely got some good videos on there. Got Jordan, got Sean Kemp, Sean Kemp, Jason Williams. I also do like music videos on there too, but I do a lot of different players. So I know some people. Reason why I made that second channel too is because some people be like, "Oh, it's just Larry Bird," and plus I just like to do different. But I like to, stick with what y'all love. Y'all love Larry Bird, so I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna do, and I love it too. He's amazing. Like, he really is amazing. But yeah, so if y'all want to follow my second channel, you definitely will see a lot of different players, a lot of different videos. So yeah, that's about it. And I'm out. I love y'all. Peace.